Hey guys, as promised, 4:02. We're going to go ahead and get started. Just want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us today. I feel like we have a very strong topic to talk about. Some of you don't know me. I'm Troy Bolton, financial advisor here in Louisville, Kentucky at Mercurio Wealth Advisors. So with a lot of the crazy stuff that's going on in the economy, I think the way we have built our company and built the firm, really focusing on education. We try to educate our clients and the general public. Do a lot of classes over at U of L. Those have been put on hold for a little bit, but we also do educational seminars. Our seminars are a little different than I think most companies are because we focus on the educational aspect. We want people to know, we want people to be informed. So with everything going on today in our economy, there's a lot of people having job losses. A lot of people might be approaching retirement very quickly. So we want to look at the top 5 401k pitfalls because a lot of people that are losing jobs, what do you do with that 401k? The decisions that you make can impact your retirement, can and will impact your retirement. So I really think that's very important for you to speak with a financial professional and make sure those decisions fit your goals. So let's kind of jump into it. So really, before I jump into it, I have to go over the disclaimer. So the material that we're going to cover today is provided by Mercurio Wealth Advisors and contains general information to help you understand basic financial planning strategies. Throughout the presentation, we may talk generally about different financial vehicles. However, nothing I say may be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell a financial vehicle, nor should it be used to make a decision based on your investments today. Our goal is really to give you general knowledge and give you the knowledge to make decisions in the future. All that sound fair? I'm assuming you say yes. So let's jump into the first pitfall. First pitfall we really see is not having a strategic plan. And when we say a strategic plan, I'm not talking about the plan that says if you max out your 401k over the next 20 years, get an 8% rate of return on your money, that you should have a successful retirement. We're talking about knowing what you're investing in, knowing why you're investing in certain investments, know what you own, know how they fit into your plan. We want to know what will help you gain financial independence. Now, there are many things to take into account, such as when to invest into something, what price to invest in, how much to invest in, how long to invest in it. So there are a ton of things to think about when you're investing in a portfolio. One of the main things that I really look at that we try to focus on with our clients is your risk tolerance. A lot of people didn't realize how aggressive they were in the market until March of this year hit. A lot of people felt the full brunt of the market downturn. If you dig, you're probably pretty surprised because most people thought they were in a moderately conservative, moderately aggressive portfolio, but you might have hit that 20 or 30% downturn. But we use a program here in the office called Riskalyze. It allows us to actually gauge what your risk tolerance is. Gives us a number, somewhere between 1 and 100. So Riskalyze, what it allows us to do, sends you out a quick questionnaire that will gauge how much risk you're willing to take based on how you answer the questions. So to kind of give an example of how this works is the S&P 500, huge index that most people track to figure out how the market's doing. That number on this schedule is right around a 78. So let's say we run you through our questionnaire. Your risk comes back at a 50. But then we run your portfolio through Riskalyze and it comes back at a 70. So what's a disconnect there? What's wrong? We need to make sure your investments are matching up with how you feel like you want to invest. Just make sure everything lines up and you have the most efficient portfolio for you. The number 2 pitfall that we see is withdrawing money without reinvesting. Honestly, I usually see this in people maybe around their 30s or 40s. People that leave a company with having maybe $40,000 to $50,000 in a 401k, and they think that they should just cash that out, put it in their account, and use it as their emergency fund per se. Not always the best decision. There's a lot of things you need to look at. And without having that knowledge, you might not know what decision to make. I mean, if you under age 59 and a half, you could and will have a 10% penalty if you withdraw that 401k and put it in your checking account. Your employer is also required to mandate a 20% federal income tax on it. So you're withholding a lot of taxes and fees out of that account when it might not be necessary. Excuse me. We also see some people that might have sizable 401ks and they're, let's say, very conservative. So they just want to maybe cash out their 401k, go ahead and pay taxes on it now, convert it to cash in their savings account or money market account, and let that coast through retirement. But let's be honest, guys, what kind of rate are we getting on savings accounts right now? 1, if you're lucky. More than likely, not even that. And what happens when you just hold on to cash? If you are getting that 1%, inflation is going to eat that away. I mean, if you just look at this chart, inflation over the past 10 years is right at 1.8%, so almost 2%. But if you look over the past 106 years, it's up over 3%. Of course, the 80s, early 80s, double digits. But what I've realized by my research and everything, if it's happened before, can we get back there? I do think we can. I don't think we're there right now. But when we're building a plan for a client, I want to base it off worst case scenario. I want to use a higher inflation rate. I want to make sure that their portfolio that we're recommending, their strategy, has been tested, has been pressure tested, and we can say and feel good about it that you will have a successful retirement. The number 3 pitfall we're going to look at is leaving your money invested where it is. If you leave your money where it is, your former employer now decides what provider to use, could limit the options that you have or don't have. So hopefully your plan offers a variety of options, as in index funds, actively managed funds, mid cap, large cap, all those different type of funds. But the point behind this is your company that you used to work for has the power to make those decisions. That power has now left your hands. So by leaving your money with your former employer, you definitely have less visibility, less control over your investments than you would otherwise by taking it under your control. So if you think about this, if you're depending on this money to last in your golden years and give you a successful retirement, don't you want more control over that money and what's done with it and what options you have to invest it in? I would think you would. Also, if you decide to leave your 401k where it is, know the details of that 401k plan. Ask questions. Can you take withdrawals before age 59 and a half? If I do, is there a penalty? How many withdrawals can I take within a year? The main reason for this slide here, I actually met with somebody over a year ago, that very nice lady. We were looking to work together when she retired. But when we spoke with her 401k provider, she couldn't do anything until she retired. 2 months ago, she called me and said, "Hey, I'm retired. Let's go ahead and get everything taken care of." We called her 401k provider, and the way her employer structured the plan documents, she had to take withdrawals over a 7-year period of time before she could liquidate that portfolio. So it would take us 7 years to implement the plan that we built for her, that would give her a successful retirement. So she literally had no control over that. So knowing the details about your plan is crucial. Moving your old 401k into a new one. Now, this may not always be considered a mistake, but if you're near retirement age and leaving one company for another, it may be the best decision to roll that over to a traditional IRA. Employers right now offer Roth 401ks and traditional 401k. So Roth, you're paying taxes up front. All the growth is tax-free. Traditional 401k, there's no taxes withheld up front. You pay the taxes when you start taking the money out. So there's a couple options there. If you roll over a 401k to traditional IRA, all your money stays pre-tax. That could be a better option for you. The reason I say that is the whole world of investing now opens up to you. Instead of just having the 20 to 30 options that your employer might allow, you now have the whole investment world open up. So you can have more control and a lot more flexibility with that plan, whether it's Roth or traditional. Within 401ks, a lot of issues that we see is mutual funds. Most people know what a mutual fund is, so I'm not going to go through the description or the definition of what a mutual fund is, but all mutual funds have internal cost. If you read the prospectus, which I'm sure everybody out there that owns a mutual fund has read the prospectus front to back, so you might know every individual fee that you pay for that. But there are a lot of costs that are stated up front. And then we look at this as an iceberg. You have the stated cost and then the unstated costs that we don't know about until you do a full analysis of it. When somebody does go through our process, we do a cost analysis. How much are you paying for the investments that you have? Is it worth paying that much? So it's a good discussion that you need to have with your advisor. Number 5 pitfall is planning to roll over too many times. Now, we don't see this too often. Really where we see this is, for example, we had somebody that we met with, I think 2 years ago. He was buying a house, currently hadn't sold his house, but he didn't have enough money for the down payment of the new house. So he took money out of his 401k to put down on that property to buy it, hoping that within 60 days, he would sell his property, be able to deposit that money back into his 401k, and would have no issues, not have tax liability or anything. Luckily, he was able to get that done and get that money back in time. But if you don't get that money back within your 401k or an IRA within that 60-day time period, you will be liable for possibly 10% withdrawal penalty plus taxes. And the government only allows you to do that once within a 12-month period. So you definitely need to watch out on that. So looking at up front, I said, I want you guys to get something value out of our discussion. So came up with a couple 401k tips that I think everybody needs to know, and I don't think they do. And some advisors kind of leave out this information that I think can be vital. So the first one we're going to look at is if you're retiring before age 59 and a half, but after age 55. Let me repeat that. If you are retiring before age 59 and a half, but after age 55, you can withdraw funds from your company 401k without the 10% early penalty. Give you an example of this. We have a lot of clients that have retired around 55, 56. They have substantial pensions. So for those clients, they might need money out of their 401k. Maybe they want to buy a car or something. So if you roll all that money out to traditional IRA before age 59 and a half, that money now, you don't really have access to it without a penalty. So if you leave part of it within your 401k, you actually have access to that to take out without the penalty. Of course, you'll have taxes, but you get to bypass the penalty. Another one is if you're working past or after RMD age, which used to be 70 and a half, now 72, and you're contributing to that company 401k, you are not required to take a required minimum distribution from that account as long as you're contributing into it. So just a couple kind of fun facts about 401ks. Most advisors, I don't feel like will let you know kind of the back end deal of that. So that's why I kind of go through that stuff. So really at this point, what are your options? So your options really is to have a plan. We have developed our retirement 360 game plan over the past, I would say 10 years that we've been working on it. We feel like we've done a very good process of walking people through, educating them and kind of showing them what's the best strategy for them. So our phase 1, it's a discovery meeting. Our first meeting, it's all about you. What are your concerns? What are your goals? What are your dreams? We have a thorough questionnaire that's going to allow you to kind of tell us what you want. How do you want to be invested? What do you want your retirement to look like? And in that meeting, we're going to go through a lot of different fact finding. So like I said, it's all about you. How much money do you want to spend? What income do you want? How much do you spend now? What kind of vacations do you want? Do you have big goals of going to the beach every year, going out of country every year? I'm assuming right now not many people are wanting to go out of country, but that could change later on. So really, once we go through that, then we're really able to go to work for you. We're able to start building the Retirement 360 game plan. So the first part of that is what we call the scorecard. We're able to perform a detailed risk analysis of your current situation. And based on that information, we're able to give you a number, a percentage of what your likelihood chance of success is. Do you have a 75 chance of success, or do you have a 95% chance of success? So that is very important. That's very vital. If you have a 55, we definitely need to sit down and do some things and recalculate and get you back in a good position. But if you're at 95 and we can tweak a few things to get you up to 99%, we'll kind of show you what that process looks like. And that comes with our Retirement 360 game plan. That includes, where's your retirement income going to come from? Where's the best place to grow your retirement savings? How to create a sound estate plan. We have estate planning attorneys that we work very closely with, that we allow to meet with our clients to show them the best way to pass their assets on to inheritance down the road. Also, what is the most tax efficient way to handle your portfolio? So our goal is really to cover all that for you and to build a plan that's customized around you. So 401k decision does have a huge impact on your success or failure in the future in your retirement. I think you owe it to yourself and your family to have a customized strategy built for you that focuses on income planning, investment planning, tax, and estate planning. You really want all of that encompassing, dealing with one advisor. So if you want a second pair of eyes, or you want a first pair of eyes just to take a look at what you're doing, give us a call. After this, Zach's going to reach out to you, send you an email, just thank you for coming. I would like some feedback from it. If you feel like this information was beneficial, I'd appreciate that. If you feel like it was really bad information, tell me that too. But also, what topics do you want to hear about? We're starting to do a lot more of these virtual seminars or virtual webinars. What information do you want? The best way for us to know what to put out is to hear it from you all. So do that for me. I appreciate your time. Like I said, Zach's going to reach out to you and give you an email, say thank you, and just request some of that information. Y'all have a good day.